Good evening. Salam, Satu, Malaysia. I do, like many of you, enjoy lepakking at home and watching TV. I appreciate the comforts of everyday routine, the security of familiar things, the tranquility of repetition. But in the spirit of celebrating the new year with much partying and revelry, I thought we could mark this December 31st with something special. There are, of course, those who don't want us to speak. I suspect even now orders are being shouted into telephones and men with guns will soon be on their way. Why? Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning, and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong in this country, isn't there? Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression. And where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems of surveillance coercing your conformity and soliciting your submission. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you are looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? May 13, race riots, fear of communists, operasi lalang. There are a myriad of problems which conspire to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turn to Barisan Nasional. BN promised you order. BN promised you peace. And all they demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent. Today, I seek to end that silence. 2011 will go down in history as the year of peaceful, non-violent revolutions. It began in Tunisia, culminating in Tahrir Square, Egypt. Tahrir Square is now the symbol of human freedom and liberation in the 21st century. We also saw the uprising of the Indignados, which occupied Puerta del Sol in Madrid, Spain, giving inspiration to the Occupy Wall Street movement. This democratic wave, driven by ordinary peoples on the street, as opposed to leadership by elites the world over, is a major turning point in our time. As the year draws to a close, dark clouds still hang over the Malaysian sky, no different from the previous years. Repression of human rights continued unabated. Malaysians suffer these abuses in different forms and at different levels. It is often hard for the ordinary Malaysian to articulate and give voice to their suffering and plight. We want every person to find his or her own voice, formulating his or her own demands. Some of these demands may spring from a litany of injustices. For example, the repression of street protests, the passing of the Peaceful Assembly Bill, the Linas debacle, the continuous land grab of Orang Asli and indigenous land in Sabah and Sarawak, the corruption in government, the exploitation and repression of local and migrant workers' welfares and rights, deaths in the custody of the MACC and the police, the suppression of academic and student reforms by the UUCA, and the list goes on. So if you see nothing, if the crimes of this government remains insignificant to you, then I would suggest that you allow the 31st of December to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, if you feel what I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand beside me and wear your V mask on New Year's Eve at the stroke of midnight at Dataran Merdeka and give them a new year that shall never, ever be forgot.